What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to the JDW Sports Podcast. And in this podcast episode, I'm going to be discussing whether or not I think the New England Patriots are bound for a playoff berth after all these free agent signings. After Bill Belichick really dug in deep to that wall, deep into his pockets, well, owner's pockets, the GM's pockets, if you want to look at it that way, literally. But does this make them a playoff berth? I don't know. Let's go through some of their signings and I'll tell you guys what I think after I go through some of the signings, some of the moves they made. The first big move they made was they signed Jonnu Smith to a massive 4-year, $50 million. That's a lot of money for a tight end. I think that's a lot of money for a tight end. But I think Jonnu Smith is a very solid tight end. He gives that deep threat ability that the Patriots were missing so badly last year. I think he gives something to the Patriots that they didn't have last year, that maybe Cam Newton didn't have last year. I think Cam Newton could still be a solid QB, but he does need some help at this point in his career. And I think Jonnu Smith is one of the ways that will help him. Jonnu Smith, as we know, is a speedster for tight end. He's a big speedster. His problem was in Tennessee, he did have some weird drops. He was a little inconsistent, but I think Tennessee misused him a little bit, and I think Bill Belichick will use him to the best of his ability, as we know Bill Belichick does, and we'll find a way to make him work. I think John Smith was a good signing. I'm going to give this a B plus. The only thing keeping me from giving it an A is how much they gave him, but still a solid deal that can really stretch the field. As a tight end, John Smith can really stretch the field and make it interesting over the middle. And for a tight end, he's fast. So the next one we got is Hunter Henry on a 3-year, $37 million contract. Again, I think this is a lot of money for a tight end. Again, is a tight end worth all that money? It depends. It depends. But I think Hunter Henry does kind of the same thing as Jonnu Smith, except he doesn't have that much of a speed, but he could block a little bit, just like Jonnu could block a tiny bit. They're not fantastic run blockers, but I think Hunter Henry's a little better in that aspect. But why would the Patriots spend so much at tight end? My theory behind it is that to make these throws easier over the middle and some of these throws easier for Cam Newton that the Patriots just resigned. Now, do we know if the Patriots will draft a quarterback in the draft? I think it's very possible. I think they just signed Cam Newton if crap hits the fan. I think he's that backup, but I think Hunter Henry and I think Jonnu Smith, for whoever's going to be quarterback next year, are going to be nice weapons for that quarterback next year. So I think that was very solid of the Patriots. But at the same time, it's a lot of money for a tight end. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry were considered the two top tight ends in this free agency. I think they were the top two when the Patriots went out and signed both, which is a lot of money for that you put into your tight ends. But hey, if they're playmakers, if they could change the game, okay. But it's still a lot. But so I'm gonna give this one a B, just just because they got another playmaker for Cam Newton or whoever the quarterback's gonna be. I think it could be a very solid signing or signings for both tight ends. So let me know what you guys think about that. And then we have on defense, we're gonna go over to defense. We have some more players on offense, but we're gonna go in defense. Patriots signed Pro Bowl pass rusher Matthew Judon, 4 years, $56 million. Now, this was Matthew Judon was a player I thought was a little bit scheme based. I thought I think he's one of the better coverage linebackers that could also rush. I think Matt Judon could be a very solid rusher. Now the Patriots had an okay D line last year. They were okay. They were nothing spectacular, but Matthew Judon will definitely help that D line take the next step, get a little better. So I think this was a good signing. It's just Matthew Judon had the I don't know. I don't know much about Matthew Judon. I know he's a very solid pass rusher. I do think they did spend a bit, but you're not going to get a decent edge rusher, a decent younger edge rusher for cheap. So I'm gonna give the Patriots a B on this one as well. I just think it's a lot of money, but no, you know what? I'm gonna bump it up to like an A minus because I think it deserves an A for really bringing that edge rush and bringing in a guy that could also drop back a little bit. So I think that was a solid signing. Now, two wide receivers that the Patriots signed: Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. Nelson Aguilar gets a 2-year deal, $26 million. I think this was a very solid signing for the New England Patriots. I think Nelson Aguilar is a very solid deep threat that can really burn you down the sideline. He really could, and he's a decent route running, as we've seen last year with the Raiders when he had a when he had a good quarterback, even in Philly when Carson Wentz was having really good time, a really good season and such. Nelson Aguilar was performing really well, and same with the Raiders. He performed really well in Las Vegas with Derek Carr. Now, Cam Newton is nowhere near the likes of Derek Carr, in my opinion. As of last year, so I think he'd be solid, but how will Nelson Aguilar do with the step down at QB? I don't know. So I think 13 was a little much for Nelson Aguilar, but at the same time, they desperately needed some playmakers, and they got a few. And Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar, and Kendrick Bourne, all very solid players. And I'm gonna give this one an A plus because you know what? I'm gonna say 13 million was good for Nelson Aguilar. I'm gonna give this one an A plus because they desperately needed someone to stretch the field, especially now that N'Keal Harry wants a trade. I don't think he was all that great anyways, but he does want to be traded. So guess we'll see what goes on there. Guess we will see what the Patriots get for him. But next we're gonna go to Kendrick Bourne. He signs a 3-year, $22.5 million deal with New England, as we all know. He was very, very solid player in San Francisco. I thought he was extremely solid. Now, is he that high end number two, that low end number one? No. I think he's a low end two right now. He's still developing. He's still young. He can still very well be even better than that. Um, 7 mil a year, over 7 mil a year, just over it. Again, I think this was a solid signing to add another weapon to New England's arsenal, to Cam Newton's arsenal in New England. So I think they signed some solid free agents that are really going to help on offense and defense. Um, I guess we will see what what really happens, but hey, you know you guys. Oh no, I gotta answer the question. Does this make the Patriots contenders? No, no, it does not. Now it also depends on the arm of Cam Newton and how Cam Newton plays, or even if they don't have Cam Newton, how will things go? How will things go? They do have that solid running back. Um, was it Damian Harris? I think his name was. I don't remember his name, so don't quote me on it. But I think it was like Damian something, Damian Harris maybe. So I think the Patriots can be a very solid team next year. But it all depends on quarterback. Quarterback is huge, as we all know. You could have an amazing team, but you could have bad quarterback and not really go nowhere. So I think the Patriots better know what they want in quarterback and better know that Cam Newton could really improve next year to make all these signings worth it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you Patriots fans think. Let me know what all of you guys think. And I'm gonna end this right here. And JDW Sports signing off.